Hi, this is Colleen, and today I am going to talk about editing and proofreading for your manuscript. This is for nonfiction books I'm going to focus on today. So you have editing and proofing, which are two different steps, but they are both necessary and well worth the investment for your professionally published book. The different types of editing and proofreading are the developmental and structural editing, the line and copy editing, and the proofreading. So the developmental and the structural editing are the most comprehensive editing for your book, for your manuscript. It focuses on the big picture. All parts of the manuscript are reviewed by the developmental and structural editors. That's the content, the structure, the message. What do you want your readers to take away? What's the book's vision? Does the structure flow and make sense? Is it written for the intended audience you want to reach, your ideal audience? And the goal of the developmental structural editing is to ensure that your foundation is ready for the next stages of editing. Line editing and copy editing is next. That's the most detailed form of editing. Technically, they're different, but they can be completed at the same time. And the focus for both line editing and copy editing is looking at the manuscript at the paragraph and sentence level. There's less focus on the story and more focus on the language and the grammar. Line editors focus on word choice, sentence structure, syntax, flow, and consistency. And their goal is to remove and change any words and sentences that are not clear. They're repetitive. They're using a lot of the same types of words or the same sentences, structure, that type of thing. And they're not necessary. A lot of the words that are repetitive or that's used in the same way they're not necessary, and you want to change those up to make sure that you have different words that mean the same thing, but you're not reading the same word over and over. This part of the editing, the line editors, they will make suggestions for those overused words and phrases that may be in your manuscript. So then the copy editors, they focus on the grammar, the spelling, the punctuation, fact-checking names, fact-checking references, and the formatting. Their goal is to ensure that the manuscript follows the grammar rules, sentence structure, the style guide you're using. Are you using APA, MLA? Are you using the Chicago style? And any publishing standards that you need to follow for publishing. Are the names of people, places, references spelled correctly? If you're referencing a link in the book, does it work? Does it go to the correct place? And then are your references spelled correctly? That's their goal. Proofreading is the next step, and it's really the final step of editing before you send it to the designer to design the book. And the goal of the proofreader is to review the entire manuscript from top to bottom. They check for typos, misspelled words, and I'm telling you to not rely on spell check because there are so many words that are spelled differently, but they sound the same, like here, here, there, and there, two. And it does make a difference. So that's what they are focused on doing and making sure that the words are spelled correctly. And then there's formatting issues. The font sizes, are they the same? The line spacing, is that correct? And then after the designer completes the layout of the book, after the first proofread is done, we suggest that another proof is done after the design is completed for a final review that is done by the proofreader and the author. It's because you want to make sure that everything is correct from top to bottom. The fonts are the same, the spacing's the same, there's no widows and orphans in the book design. Are the pictures in the right place? If there's images in the book, are they in the right place? Are they on a separate page when they need to be in a different page? It's all that formatting. And the important part during this part of the proof too, this step of the proof, is that it's time for the author to review, and they need to sign off before it goes to print because they are the ones that are responsible for the final look of the book. So you want to make sure that the author signs off on an agreement that they have reviewed it and have okayed everything. Now, there's some other steps that can be completed for editing, but they're not necessary if you don't want to do them, but they are suggestions. Have you heard of beta readers? Beta readers will provide developmental feedback in the really early stages of your writing. And their focus is, again, on the big picture, but they also will point out any technical issues there might be in the book, if things don't make sense, where's your story going? So fellow writers or people you don't know are usually the best type of beta readers. The writers are familiar with the craft of writing. They've written other things. And the people who you don't know that you invite to read, they could be people on your list. They could be people you know from business. They aren't afraid to give you that feedback. Family and friends, they could be, they won't want to hurt your feelings. So they're not the best type of people to give you that feedback as a beta reader. The next type of editing you might want to do is, if you're an author, is self-editing. And that's not really optional, but it occurs as the writers write. So people come up with their own process. Some will rework every chapter as they go. They'll rewrite every paragraph. We don't suggest that, even though I've tended to fall into that trap. But just write, and then go back and self-edit, because you can add content, you can change words up, you can rework your chapters. But that's what self-editing is going through as the author and writing and changing it as you go through the book. It depends how intentional authors are. Sometimes authors are very intentional. Like, I know when I wrote a book that we wrote, I was self-editing too much, and I was slowing down my process because I always thought I could make it better. Then this didn't work or that didn't work. So you don't want to fall down a rabbit hole. So it depends on what the writer wants to do in a self-edit. Some will just self-edit and just pick certain things that they want to focus on, and they don't really want to go through all of that weeds. So they have the professional editors and proofreaders do it, and then they'll take a look. So remember, your book is a business. You want it to be as professional as it can be when it goes to print. So you will have mega sales, and it will go where you want it to.